Thank you, Professor Hansens. Thank you. Yes. Evet, bir hatırlatma yapmak isterim. Programımız tamamlandığında kayıt bölümünden isminize özel hazırlanan sertifikalarınızı, katılım belgelerinizi alabilirsiniz. Bu hatırlatmanın ardından bir başka sunumla devam ediyoruz. Profesör Mark Oliver Opresni'yi davet ediyorum. Küresel şehir markasının şekillenmesinde dijital pazarlamanın gücü başlıklı sunumunu gerçekleştirecek kendileri. Welcome again, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, oh, it still says 40 minutes. That's great. İyi günler, hello. I'm very, very proud to be here with you today, and I'm going to talk a little bit about digital marketing and its impact on branding cities and nations. So first, I'm going to talk a little bit about significance of marketing for my dear colleagues here and friends, Professor Moutinho. But Professor Kotler already mentioned Drucker, and the first slide, whenever I'm talking about marketing, is a slide coming from Drucker, who's supposed to be the guru of the gurus, not only the guru of marketing gurus, but also the guru of every guru in management or strategy. And Drucker said there are only two things which are important for any kind of business. One is marketing, the other one being innovation. First, why you need innovation. Innovation you need in order to stay ahead of the game. In particular, in very, very dramatic times, in very volatile times, you need to be very, very agile. And innovation means not to be innovative one time and then you stop moving, because that is a big mistake, right? There's a famous quote coming from a famous NHL player in the United States, Wayne Gretzky, and he said, "I don't skate where the puck is, I skate where the puck is going to be." So it is also a lot about anticipation. The problem with innovation is that if you're successful and you are innovative and you have a great product and customers are buying that, or also companies if you're in the B2B business, the problem is that your product is copied in an ever shorter period amount of time. And that is a challenge, so you have to keep continuously moving. And marketing is the other thing. But what is really marketing? And now, Luis, this is for you. It's a running gag between Professor Luis Moutinho and myself, because I'm still talking about push and pull marketing. Because whenever we are working with so many Fortune 500 companies, and with Apple and Nike and BMW and those kind of corporations and Unilever, and even those professional marketing companies, they are always saying, yeah, we are doing marketing all the time, and we have very nice ads, and we have very nice flyers and commercials, etc., etc. And recently, we've been visiting a huge builder of German luxury cars in southern Germany, and they've been showing us a new kind of concept car. And it's a very interesting car, and like Tom Cruise in Minority Report, you can steer a lot of functions in the car just by using your hands. And I was asking the designer, the professor who did that, and the engineers, oh, this looks very complicated. And they said, oh, yeah, it's very complicated, and the car can do everything you want it to do. And we printed a manual of the multimedia system in the car, and it's 850 pages, just the manual, the draft manual of the car. And I said, does the customer need all that? And he replied, and there was a head of engineering at a big automobile company. He said, I don't care whether the customer needs it or not. We are building it, we are making it work, and the salespeople and the marketing people, they have to sell it. And that's often the problem, because that is what we call a sales approach. A sales approach means companies are using products and then they're trying to sell it. So they produce products and then they're trying to sell them. We call that a push approach, right, Luis? But much more effective is it if you don't focus on your products you're already building, you're already having in your portfolio, but you're looking at customer demands and more specifically customer problems, and then come out with solutions. Because then the customers automatically, they see a need. And we learned right now from Professor Dominic Hansens that customer satisfaction is a key lever to propel your business, to enhance your business. And that is what we call real marketing, integrated marketing. I say it again, in a sales approach, a company tries to sell the products which it is producing. In a marketing approach, we are trying to produce the products which we can sell. That's the difference. So although all companies are claiming that they're doing marketing, we believe majority of companies actually do not. And what is the challenge? And I'm always using this slide, and you can do this with cars, and you can do it with fridges, and you can do it with university education. You can also do it with a lot of countries and other products. Products are more and more alike. They are more and more homogeneous. Why is that? Because also design-wise, every kind of feature or technical characteristic of a product that works fine is copied in an ever shorter period amount of time. In 2011, Apple was the first one to come out with a Siri. And then everyone said, oh, Siri, who needs Siri? But then customer liked it, and Cortana was added, Bixby was coming to Samsung, etc., etc. So it's all copied. And in addition, we have another challenge. We have this information overflow. We learned that from Luis, looking at the slide, that the information, the data is exploding. So we have this information overload. So it is very, very difficult to stand out of the clutter, so to be perceived as being different. So how can you achieve that? Basically, there are only two levers you can push to achieve a sustainable competitive advantage. So, say it again, every product, the core benefit of a product is all the same. So whether you go with a Ferrari Testarossa from Istanbul to Ankara or with a Fiat Cinquecento, doesn't make any difference. So the core benefit is always the same, is mobility. And then you can try to differentiate your product by having certain kind of features, like you have an extra warranty, or you have whatever, specific air conditioning or specific steering of some kind of, I don't know, head-up displays. But all this can be copied. There are only two things which cannot be copied. One is brand, and the other one being relationships and people to build up. So this is this customer loyalty, customer relationship management. And in fact, Amazon has capitalized a lot on the relationships they build up. So these are the two levers that really can generate sustainable competitive advantage. Because what is a competitive advantage which is sustainable? A, it has to be important to the customer, because what good is a characteristic which is not positive for the customer? B, it has to be perceived by the customer, it has to be perceivable. And C, it is not copy. It is not subject to being copied within a short or mid-term time period. So you cannot copy that. And these are the only ones which can leverage that. Interesting, I learned that a lot of people are coming from small, medium-sized enterprises, in particular in the B2B, business to business. But also in B2B, social media is playing a more important role than ever before when it comes to product and service selection. So we see here that a recommendation by friends or online consumer reviews, they have a stronger impact on the choice of customers than any kind of ad or any kind of billboard. And for example, you can see here for traveling, if you're talking about city branding, that about 1/3 of all the travelers were at least influenced by comments from people in their social network when making travel decisions. So here you can see already that also social media, digital, is a very, very strong lever in powering and enhancing communication. So first learning, online content has a strong effect on customer buying behavior. Here you can see figures for Germany, and for Germany you can already see that this is the digital. So all, including mobile, has already surpassed classic above-the-line communication. So it is becoming more and more important. It always depends, and Faim was asking me the question in the panel discussion, what is the right balance between digital and non-digital and classic? So it all depends on the target group you're aiming for, right? So there's not a generic one. But this is also what Dominic highlighted very, very elegantly and brilliantly in his talk. In the past, there was communication as a kind of a monologue. So a company was talking to customers, but there was hardly any kind of reaction. Some people were writing some letters to the company. Today, we have communication among equals, and tomorrow, already we're experiencing that, the customers taking over communication. And a country and city is a brand, like Procter & Gamble is, like Nike is, like Burberry is, right? Like Apple is, like Professor Kotler is. We all are brands somehow, right? Or university of Berkeley or whatever, right? All these are brands, and you gave a very pragmatic definition I'm always using as well. A brand is a collection of perceptions in the hearts and minds of the customers. That's actually a brand. And in order to be powerful and very differentiated and distinct, you have to think about what is the core value set you have, you encompass as a nation or as a city specifically. So what are your core characteristics that do shape your brand that no other country or no other city has? What is specific to that? These are just the top values in the consumer goods business. You all know that Apple took over the lead from Coca-Cola. It's always been Coca-Cola. This is just the values of brands. And you cannot find any kind of location here. But there's also research. And here you can see that Istanbul is already supposed to be a challenger with respect to some of the data that has been looked at. This is a famous analysis coming from the British Guardian. And here you can see that there are certain kind of clusters. Here, this is the top cities in the world, the top 4 countries and cities, Los Angeles, New York City, London, and Paris. You see Istanbul with respect to buzz strength. So it is the ability of a city to generate media buzz or communication buzz or attention, to grab the attention because you need attention. But also, it is about the asset strength. So in how far is a city being capable of attracting investment. So here you see it already, you're in a very, very good position. And you have to, I think, capitalize on that. How you do that? There's a very nice model we are always using in consulting when we're working with Apple or Adidas or Nike. We use the brand steering wheel. It's a very simple tool. This is the brand competence, who am I? And it's consisting of different kind of dimensions. One is the brand benefit. What kind of offering do I have? What is the functional benefit or psychological or lifestyle benefit? Then the tonality. How am I? So what is kind of relationship characteristic experiences I'm delivering? This is iconography. Oh, Phil was talking about Ivory Tower, Eiffel Tower. This is all about corporate identity, design, haptics, could be this museum, right? And the other one is brand attributes. So features of the offers, characteristics of the organization. And you can apply this kind of model to a nation, you can apply this to any kind of product, you can apply this to any kind of service. This is a very, very powerful, very pragmatic tool you can use. So, my next learning is countries and cities are like consumer brands and must be managed accordingly. And, like I mentioned before, we have this shift. I love to use this kind of metaphor. In the past, it was a bit like bowling. So companies were playing bowling, or also organizations such as United Nations. They were playing bowling, so they were throwing a kind of a composed message towards an audience, and then they were waiting for some kind of response. So whether this is effective or not. But in today's world, we have to play pinball with the customer. I love this metaphor. So this is also one we are using in our social media marketing book. So the company kicks in the ball, and then the ball goes to a bumper, so it goes to a certain kind of customer, and the customer puts this kind of message to another customer. So what does it mean? It goes from customer to another customer to another customer, and you also lose control. So it is less control, but that's automatically always the case. So for example, I work with people at Google, and the Google people always told me one thing: you cannot un-Google yourself. Whether you do social media or not is important, yes, but even if you don't have Facebook or Twitter or Instagram accounts, doesn't mean that anything is not written about your company and your services on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, right? And it's like what Professor Kotler said, better disrupt yourself than to be disrupted. So better to enter the discussion and participate and try to influence than to be influenced. And I have a nice video here. Oh, it's not working. Can I go back? Ah, now it's working, probably. We tested it, but yeah. Can we turn on the volume? I don't know whether the translator can translate that as
There. Long time no see, looking good.
Yeah, let's just keep this simple. I want a divorce.
What now?
I think you heard me just fine.
Come on, this is me. What's wrong?
We don't talk anymore.
I just put down a mill on a TV commercial just to talk to you.
Exactly. You do all the talking. I never get a chance.
Talk on our website, can't you?
Sure, if I want to say, order this product.
See?
It's not exactly a dialogue.
What about the print campaign, You can't tell me you missed the billboard in Times Square. That was like a 200-foot tall declaration of love.
You're saying you love me, but you're not behaving like you love me. It's not genuine.
I don't know. The agency said I was genuinely being funny. Genuinely being charming. They said you would love everything I did.
Could you keep your voice down? You're not doing a radio commercial. Look, whether you're funny or not, it's just, I've changed, and you haven't. I mean, we don't even hang out in the same places anymore. You're not even listening, are you?
Coupons. You want coupons, don't you? Look, come by the store. I got 2 words for you. Loyalty, reduction. Am I right? That was it, wasn't it? Let's just hug.
If you knew me, you'd know I don't care about that.
Know you? Sweetheart, I know everything about you. You're 28 to 34. Your online interests include music, movies, and laser hair removal. You have a modest but dependable disposable income. Am I the only one not getting the problem here?
I'm out of here.
Oh, come on. Don't be like that. Look, I'll tell you what. Come back here tomorrow. I'll give you the chance to win a Bahamas vacation. There's a small chance, minuscule, but technically still a chance.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I don't know whether the translation is working with the Dolmetsch as well, but you understood the message basically. And it's like I mentioned in the panel as well, we have a new kind of, oh, that's great, thank you very much. We have a new kind of sales funnel. And in the past, and the AIDA model is from 1898, attention, interest, desire, action. But we have in digital, and whether you're in digital or not, in today's world we have this ASIDAS model. Attention, search, interest, desire, action, share. And it is very important that you capitalize on the search and also on the share, because this is building customer loyalty, customer satisfaction, which in turn is relating to ROI, right? To what Professor Hansen was saying and stating. So customers and also tourists as customers and stakeholders, they expect a dialogue. It's not a monologue anymore. I'll tell you one story. There's a significant paradigm shift in consumer buying behavior. But not only when it comes to buying handbags, but I quickly tell you a story I love. Recently we've been having a family at our home, and the little daughter, Sophie, she's 10 years old, and I said, oh, Sophie, it's in 1 week you're having birthday. What do you wish for your birthday? And she said, oh, a Michael Kors handbag. I said, you're 10 years old, you turn to 11. How comes that you wish a Michael Kors handbag as a birthday present? And she, have you seen it on TV? I'm curious, right? You know, I'm talking about marketing. And she's looking at me like that. I said, nobody's watching TV. Nobody. I said, I know your mom is watching crime series and stuff like that, right? Yeah, but nobody in my class, nobody in my entire class in school. Nobody's watching TV. We are listening to Spotify, and we are watching Netflix and whichever, and we are watching YouTube. And I said, yeah, have you seen it in a magazine? And she said, nobody's reading. I said, oh my gosh, nobody's reading, right? And I said, what makes you go for a Michael Kors handbag? And she said, oh, that was the must-have accessory on Dougie B's beauty channel. And I said, on YouTube. And I said, who is Dagi B? And actually, she's a very famous YouTube star in Germany, but so are also global stars as well. So there are different kind of preferences here. And also in traveling, one of the most influential ones around this globe is Murat Osman, and he's always sharing very famous, iconic pictures of a man being led by a woman through different kind of countries and cities. And they produced a photo series, and with the hashtag here, follow me, 2 images, which was exhibited in Times Square in New York, for example. You can see that he's more than 4.3 million subscribers on the Instagram. They started in 2011, and he's considered to be more influential in making choices to travel to certain kind of countries and cities than any kind of travel agency or any kind of report coming. Okay, so digital influencers strongly shape the image of a brand. I quickly skip through that. One very nice proof in that has been analyzed by Harvard Business School. They looked at the tourism industry of New Zealand and how the tourism industry in New Zealand capitalized on the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And they transformed New Zealand into world leader in film tourism. And Peter Jackson, the director, is from New Zealand, and surveys show of Harvard Business School that 30% of tourists say the films influenced their decision to travel to New Zealand. And tourism business minister here, Peter Ellis, said, if I had to make an estimate of the value of the Hobbit films for tourism, including Lord of the Rings, I would put it between 50 million and 500 million per year, minimum. And we cannot look at the entire picture. And going back to that, okay. And here you can see, for example, this has been supported by New Zealand government, by the actors also talking about the shooting.
I spent this entire shoot on location. We saw so many incredible places.
8 minutes left, okay.
I know I'm a Kiwi, but I have to say I cannot imagine making these films anywhere but this country.
So, country and city placement, I quickly go over that because I'm only having 8 minutes left. Country and city placement within movies or equivalent formats can also contain great leverage potential. So you can actively seek for that and multiply it on social media. This is what New Zealand government is doing, New Zealand authorities. They have, first they thought about a slogan to support the brand. It's called 100% New Zealand. And you see, for example, just on the YouTube channel, they have a separate YouTube channel. They have more than 300 videos just supporting New Zealand brand communication. And you see that they have a very consistent message across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all the other channels as well. So, within social media universe, YouTube in particular is an underestimated lever. With Professor Cerf, I can't see him right now. I'm about to bring out a book on YouTube marketing to show that. And if you look at, for example, at specific cities, there are also some cities here, like City of London, officially, where governments, the office of the mayor, they ran specific YouTube channels just for a city in order to grasp attention. I did a quick research, and I was finding very, very few cities indeed who have a separate YouTube channel, who talk, like New Zealand, for example, who actively talk to customers or to potential tourists to inform about your country and your values and your culture. So I think that there's a great leverage potential in that. So capitalization on social media by setting up separate YouTube channel for cities is very, very powerful in our opinion. And a last funny thing and funny story, not to be political, but just to say what is happening or what is possible in the digital, how powerful digital communication also can propel nations and cities. After the inauguration of Donald J. Trump in the United States, there was a very famous claim of Donald Trump, America first, America first. And there was a Dutch from the Netherlands, a Dutch comedian doing a short film, and he was uploading it on YouTube. And he said, if America is first, why cannot the Netherlands be second? And this video gained a lot of views, more than 27 million views in just a couple of few days, propelling Netherlands brand awareness dramatically. Let's quickly look at it. It's very funny.
Nou, dan, afgelopen vrijdag was het zover. De 45ste president van de Verenigde Staten werd beëdigd in Washington D.C. Donald J. Trump. Hij had een duidelijke boodschap voor de rest van de wereld. Ik neuk jullie allemaal de moeder. Nou ja, hij zei het in iets andere woorden.
From this day forward, it's going to be only America first. America first.
Ja, en omdat wij ook wel inzien dat we hem beter te vriend kunnen houden, stellen wij ons landje even aan hem voor op een manier die hem wellicht het meest zal aanspreken.
This is a message from the government of the Netherlands.
Dear Mr. President, welcome to this introduction video about the Netherlands. It's gonna be a great video. It's gonna be absolutely fantastic. Our founding father was William of Orange, who fought against the Spanish, total scumbags. They fought against us for 80 years, but they couldn't beat us. Couldn't do it. Total losers. They're all dead now, by the way. We speak Dutch. It's the best language in Europe. We've got all the best words. All the other languages failed. Danish, total disaster. German is not even a real language. It's fake. It's a fake language. We've got Pony Park Slagharen, which has got to be the best pony park in the world. It's true. They're the best ponies. They are. You can ride them. You can date them. You can grab them by the pony. It's fantastic. This is the Afsluitdijk. It's a great, great wall that we built to protect us from all the water from Mexico. In fact, we built an entire ocean, okay? An entire ocean between us and Mexico. Nobody builds oceans better than we do. This ocean, it is so big, you can even see it from the moon. And we made the Mexicans pay for it. It's true. You've got the Trump Towers. We've got Lee Towers. You would love to sing at your inauguration. Amazing voice. Gotta love it. We've got Maduro Dam, which is the greatest miniature town in the world. It's great. Well, it's tiny, but it's great. And the squares, they're so small, you don't even need many people to fill them. It's great. This is Gerry Eickhoff. In December, we've got this scandalous tradition of Black Pete. It's the most offensive, the most racist thing you've ever seen. You'll love it. It's great. We also have a disabled politician for you to make fun of. Her name is Jette Kleinsma. She's from the Ministry of Silly Walks. You can do a great impersonation of her. Can't wait to see it. People tell us, very important people, they tell us we've got the best tax evasion system God ever created. It's just unbelievable. You should tell your sons to put all their businesses here. You'll pay no taxes at all. Zero. It's ridiculous. And last but not least, we've got a great, great, great dependency on the United States. It's huge. If you screw NATO, you're gonna make our problems great again. They're gonna be huge. They're gonna be enormous. It's true. Please don't. We totally understand. It's going to be America first. But can we just say the Netherlands second? Is that okay? Thank you for watching and best wishes. We've got the best wishes in the Netherlands. They're great. It's true.
And actually it wasn't done by the government of Netherlands, but they supported it. And the Netherlands, they called all other European states to do similar videos. And if you Google on YouTube, and you look on YouTube, you find similar videos from Italy, from Spain, from a lot of other countries as well. So also Italy is second, etc., etc. So guiding principle in digital era is you need to listen first before you talk. Yeah? And also, I also teach a lot of negotiation classes, negotiation. I said, first understand before being understood. This is the same in digital era as well. So listen, learn, act, and control, because you first need to understand the customer. Listening and speed are key. This is what a company is suggesting. So we talked about the 4 Ps, and in fact, you can also call it 4 Cs or 7 Ps, etc., etc. So every kind of product or every kind of corporation or organization is projecting an image of a brand or an organization onto what we call a brand screen. But what is actually important is how is this image being perceived by the customer? And so it's a lot about perception management. I was talking to Omar about that, right? Well, we were talking about that last night when we were having dinner at the fish restaurant. Very nice. And it is also about perception management. How do you want your brand to be perceived? And you can steer that by entering the discussion. Here, this is the program, Istanbul and Turkey Vision 2023. And Istanbul plays an important role in the government policy. I'm looking at the government page here. And you said that, for example, here, to make Turkey the 5th largest tourist destination by 2023, host 50 million visitors. So you can capitalize a lot here on this one. Okay, thanks very much. Teşekkür ederim. Thanks very much for your attention. This book